McCoy. From Estelon, we have CEO and co-founder Alyssa Vlasikova and chief designer and co-founder Alfred Vlasikov. So with that, welcome to the HiFi Mafia stream, Alfred and Alyssa. And first off, we just want to know, who is Estelon? Tell the people out there who may not know about the brand, the company details, how you guys got started, things of that nature.
Yes. Hello, everyone. And thank you guys for inviting us. So really happy to join you. About Estelon. Well, it's a story that started a long time ago. We can go back to 1960s, when Alfred was a young boy who loved music. And happened to break old radio speakers.
But my father plays very well with the accordion. It was very nice evenings where he plays this music. I think was this motor inside of me what listen more music, and after this radios, that music from radios.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, he managed to break many radios and speakers. The goal was to understand how they are built and why some speakers play better than the other ones. So he tried to rebuild them. And then time passed. Alfred studied electroacoustics and electronics. And then in 1986, I was born. So
we weren't going to ask your age, but now that you've
now you know. But I was already in that environment where we had always speakers at home, music playing. I also broke many radios and speakers, but not with the intention to make them better, but just because I was curious, what happens if I break them. But anyway, I studied business, and in 2010, we decided to team up. By that time, Alfred had designed more than 100 different loudspeaker models for other companies, and he had this dream of building something better, more interesting, and I had this dream of having a business, and why not a family business. So in 2010 there was one secret idea being developed
from
basement in our house's basement.
Not from laboratory.
Yeah, very secret. And we looked at this and we thought, what, this is not going to be sold to anyone else. This is something that we will do together. So me, my sister, my father, Alfred.
My brother.
Yes, my uncle Alfred's brother, Valeri. So we all teamed up and we decided that, we will do it. So that's when Estelon was born. It was 2010. Since then, it's been almost 14 years. Today, we are represented in around 30 countries around the world. And we have different models for smaller rooms, bigger rooms. And we really enjoy what we're doing.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm almost 40 years in this business, and for me, it's every day is very interesting. I'm happy with this business because it's like synergy from hobby and from the business, from the activity, and of course with music.
I have a question for you, if I could. So what made you see in your designs and your technology that you didn't want to sell it to somebody else and that you wanted to form your own company?
So for me, it's very easy. It's our designs all was born from engineering, from inside. It's we built speaker like from white paper and put the main purpose for this speaker, and then start to thinking how to reproduce this, and build like from ideas to idea, and finally have some engineering, put it together, and then after this it's on almost can't we have this shape.
Very easy, if Alfred describes. But basically it was like so much engineering put into this, and we realized that it's not an ordinary speaker. To be able to produce this, you still have to set up like totally new production for that. And since we believed in that idea so much that we thought that if we sell this idea to someone else, we can't really influence, how this is presented, how this is made. But we thought that we want to control this from the beginning till the end. So we really decided that we should try on our own.
Yeah, for this idea, we need to create technology, we need to create some connections, use some very rare components, etc. It was a very interesting process.
Gotcha. It was definitely, it seems like something that, not everyone was ready to equip. And, if you guys are going to be the pioneers for that, why give that secret sauce to somebody else? So
quick question. Where did the name Estelon came from?
Oh, that was many months of brainstorming, but actually,
3 months, yeah.
3 months actually. But the idea is that it's a name; it doesn't mean anything, but it's a beautiful name that also connects a little bit to our country, Estonia. Estelon, Estonia, aesthetics. So we simply love this. Actually, not from the beginning. It took us some time. We had this name actually, I think, like on our first brainstorming session,
One of the first,
but then
yeah.
we still tried to see if we can find, something else, and then we realized, but we actually have it. So we came back
That's
to this
awesome.
option.
So I'd like to take a moment and thank all of our viewers that have joined us today. So we have a bunch of folks from all over the world that are watching. So thank you for joining us. And if you do have any questions or thoughts, feel free to put those up in the comments, and we'll try and get those into the interview as well. So thank you, everybody that's out there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just want to share really quick. I'm going to take some photos from the Estelon site and just show off you guys as speakers. We have a few from the line here, the YB, the XBs, the Xs. And, it's something that I think anyone who's looking at these can think or, see that this kind of doesn't look like anything else that's really out there. And you guys have the range, the YB, it was previously the entry line into Estelon. Going up the line, into the X and the XBs, but also into the Forza, the higher end lines that you guys offer. And then what I've got in the background right now from last year at Expona, but also seeing here the Forza Extreme. So it's quite a large range that you guys offer.
Yeah, that's true. So what we're seeing now, that this is our flagship speaker. The Forzas are also in our flagship series, but they are just a little bit smaller, more compact, because Extremes are for bigger rooms. So they are adjustable. They actually are made of like 2 separate modules. So upper cabinet, which can be adjusted with the remote control. You can actually change the height of this, so it will move not just up and down with a straight line, but like around the listening points. There's a lot of engineering put into this, and so and the lower part is separately, so to protect the upper drivers from the vibrations from the lower bass. So this is our as I mentioned, flagship model, and very unique. And I still think it's one of the coolest toys from Estelon, because we know that sometimes customers say that, you only need to adjust this once. You can adjust the height according to your room. You can adjust the tweeter depth, the focus. But it's so cool that people still keep it, like when they have guests coming, they can, show to their friends, what I can really, move the speaker.
From my sitting place.
Yeah. So it's very convenient, but also like just very cool. And the idea was, of course, not to make just cool speaker, but it took us almost like 3 years. Usually the development is around 3 years of time. It was crazy fast development for us at that time, because it's a very complicated product, sophisticated product. And it's really, again, number one is engineering. So it comes from engineering, and functionality is number one. And then comes the design part. This is true on all of our products. So now talking already about our design philosophy.
Yeah.
And Forza is also in our flagship series. You will notice like similar drivers and positioning of the drivers, but this is now in one cabinet. So not adjustable, but the level and the performance is close to extreme. So this is also in our flagship line. And the models that you showed earlier, yes, this is our X Diamond in the middle, best-selling, most popular speaker. I would say like a classic or iconic speaker that we've produced since our start. Of course, this is now Mark II, but then the XP Diamond is like a smaller brother of that speaker. So if you have a smaller space, you choose the XP or XP Diamond. And then the YB is our Red Dot Award winner. It's such an unique design, simple, interesting design, specially designed for smaller rooms. So you notice that the woofers are like closer to the or like on the angle. So this is also like very important in smaller rooms. So the woofer is not against the wall, because usually you will place the speakers closer to the wall. So this is like turned away, not to have those unwanted resonances. And now we have the new Aura, the new floor standing speaker. That's our Estelon Extreme, which is special edition that was inspired by Rolls-Royce. So
what's the list, if I can interrupt you, what's the list on the Extreme? The North
Go back to
American
the Extreme.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. What's the North American price on that?
It's 269K.
Okay. And how about the entry level model?
The entry level, the Aura start from 99.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically the full range is covered from smaller rooms to big rooms, and here like the big ones are again like adjustable, so you can even place them in like more bigger rooms.
Here, I do have a picture of the Aura that for some reason didn't pull up.
Yeah, and we have a question from the crowd. So, are you dedicated to floor standing speakers specifically, and have you ever considered a stand mount?
Yes, we have considered. We actually have XCs, which are stand mount speakers, and this is also in our product line.
So the short answer is they're out there. Larry Stugel asked, go check them out on the webpage.
Awesome.
So in designing these like extremely high-end speakers, like the Forza and the Extreme, how much of that research and development are you able to do in-house? Like, do you guys have access to an anechoic chamber? Or are you doing more computer models? Can you talk to some of the engineering choices that you make in coming to making such a flagship product?
Engineering is here.
We use in our production, our R&D, mostly this Clio system. It's a digital system. We not need this anechoic chamber, but of course this for measure this lower part frequency is lower that. For example, 300 Hz. We have some our know-how how we do this, and of course this measuring it's like qualification for listening tests, and we make very many. I don't know how it can be measured, but many hours, days for listening tests. This is most important things. It's not possible to measure these parameters what we can be audible with our ears. It's a difficult job, but he gives this results.
Yeah, so Alfred is chief designer, so the like outer design and all the inside design is like managed by Alfred, and we also have one very good engineer working with Alfred, Predic. So Predic, hi, if you're listening to us now. So it's a team effort here, and it's very important part of our job is the listening part, because I mean you can't measure everything. So it's very important that every speaker leaves our factory only when Alfred has listened to it, and if it passes our listening test, then it goes out, because you can have all the numbers and everything, but some factor will be missing that you can only hear.
That's great.
Gotcha.
Well, so talking about the listening test, what electronics do you use to back up to drive the speakers when you design them, and what kind of amplifiers do you recommend to use with the speakers?
It's it's not easy question, but same time it's quite easy. For test, we use good equipment, and for example, this price, it's approximately same as speaker or better, but it's not maybe so important. Important to make the live test, and we use sometime different equipment for testing, not stay with only one. It's sometime in our laboratory we have very good very good sets of very good equipment, and we test with these. But we have one set now in our laboratory. It's MSB set with select DAC and amplifiers. And actually, we can see in exhibitions rooms with different electronics, and sometimes we have this electronics in our listening room. We test before exhibition, or if we can possibility to use some new equipment, and of course we with pleasure make a test in our laboratory.
Yeah.
But also sometime in the for our dealers or our customers, we can have also some different electronics at different sets. It's very, very interesting also. But of course, we try make a design for any good electronics.
Yeah. So we try to have different ones, as Alfred said. MSB technology is one set that I'm actually looking at right now. In another room, we have Vitus audio. And we have also equipment changing. So with some manufacturers, we do exchange. So they have our speakers, we have their electronics, and because like mostly before the shows, we also do the same thing. We will have the full set, test everything in advance to make sure it sounds good, like there is no surprise when we go to the show. So we keep on having like different kinds of electronics from time to time. So we switch and test and compare. So the idea is not to have it, perfect with one electronics only, but with all the different ones, because the speakers have to be perfect with everything.
Awesome. Right on. So we want to talk just really quick about like what's new with Estelon. I know that the Aura is like the new speaker that you guys most recently released, and also like we had heard earlier, your most affordable line. But now we also have the coming into 2024, the Aura with the different color options now.
Yes, this is correct. So our latest product, Aura, has new colors now. These colors are like very new for Estelon, so they are not available on our other models, except Black Gloss, of course. But our standard Aura comes in white matte, very good, very practical finish, very durable, and it's. The choice was made because it's something that stays at home and you live with this. So it has to be nice and easy to use this. And then we decided to introduce colors as well, because we received requests from our customers, partners. And we decided to add something like very new that we didn't have on our other models. So this is Amber Elegance, a little bit like orange, red, very interesting, very attractive color.
Giles, I'm sharing the colors if you want to put that up on screen.
Yes.
There we go.
I was talking about this on the right there. Then the Starlight, which is on the right, which is depends on the light. It can look like a little bit with golden effect or silver effect. So it's basically like if you look at Mac computer, that's like Starlight. So it's not silver, it's not gold, but it's super interesting, super elegant in the interior. Then we have gray, which is very good color and easy to integrate in every interior. And gray is very popular in interiors as well. And then we have very interesting blue, horizon blue. It's a little bit lighter because we have cobalt blue on our X series products, which in X series, all our speakers look like darker. So they're like almost black, but when you show some lights on, you can see the actual color. So this is like very like mysterious. So on Aura, we have chosen a little bit different strategy. Here, the colors are lighter and easier. So the blue one is also very, very nice and elegant. And then the classics black, like piano black.
Mhm.
So this is and as I mentioned, the standard comes in white, and there is actually a very important difference. White is actually a material that has the paint already in it, so we don't paint it. But these products that we have now on the screen, these colors, these auras are painted. So hand painted and lacquered and hand sanded. So this is all handmade and painted. So that's a very big difference.
I
Do you find
really
it
like the gray and the orange. Those for me
I
stand
like
out.
the gray one. Yeah.
Thank you.
I like the Starlight a lot.
I
Actually-
heard them at the show. These speakers, they're great.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
And
when
you
I
know
went
what?
to
We have
see-
all the colors here at the factory, and every time I pass them, I'm like, oh, today I like the blue one. Next day I come like, oh, the Starlight. You know, they look like very, very interesting colors.
What
Actually,
I'd like to see is not a solid color, but you guys do like a special edition where you put a design on the speaker. You know, multiple colors. That'd be very cool.
We can have an Estelon and Banksy collab.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or the
Awesome.
the Estelon flag colors or the United States flag color. Just something, like a design, artwork. Make it
good idea. Thank you.
Yeah. But you also asked like, what's next? So there will be something more coming, obviously, because our R&D never sleeps. You know, you have to basically like stop, like wait. So the ideas are always there. So there is something more coming. And if we talk about the existing products, then now Forza is introduced in new violet night finish. So you will be able to see the at the Exponus show. So it's a very interesting color. Again, it's almost black. You can think it's black, but it's not. So it's very mysterious, very dark. And so this will be shown in Expona. And then in Munich high-end show in Germany, that will be also very interesting. We will be showing again something new. And so you will hear about this actually very, very soon. So there will be press release coming in few weeks. So yeah, something interesting is coming.
That's super exciting. I'm really excited to see that from Estelon. I wish I could be in Munich to hear it, but I'm looking forward to seeing what that is. And, you heard it first here on HiFi Mafia, I think, right? So, this is the kind of exclusive access you get with us. You mentioned Expona, and, my background right now is from last year, the $1.2 million Expona system. We just talked about, the new colorway that will be featured for Forza. For Expona as well. I think one of the things that's really interesting that Estelon's doing, and I know that Ilias is spearheading this, is that you guys are also going to have an offsite at a local dealer for the Expona show.
This is true. Actually, the Extremes will also be there at our dealers, the audio experience. So if someone comes to the Expona show and will listen to the Forzas, but it's only like 10 minutes away from the show location. So there is a chance to go to our dealer. You will need to have an appointment there, which you can make on site. And then some customers will be able to hear the Extremes. So it's our flagship in the audio experience. It's another flagship model at the Expona. And our dealer, Scott Walker Audio, he will have the X Diamonds at the Expona show. So this is very interesting. I mean, X Diamond is our best-selling model. It's a very good model. Has won numerous awards. So it's a very good display that we will have at Expona this year.
Awesome. And I know that this was one of the the ones that we, is talked about so much, the setup from last year, the Scott Walker setup with last year, I believe it was the X series as well that they were showing off. And, that, and as Daniel had mentioned at the show, that the Aura is being a memorable experience as well. I think that, Estelon really puts on a great show at all these audio shows. Is there any kind of secret what the Estelon has in presenting at these that, bring out the best of the speaker?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can see now
that color is amazing.
Yeah,
that's the one they had. And
and that what we will have on Forza.
On the Forza, that's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all nice.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm just going to flip through the website as you guys continue to talk.
Yeah.
So feel free to continue.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to move to some more questions for the Estelon crew here. With your speaker line, do you recommend people adding a subwoofer? Do you feel like Estelon speakers really need a subwoofer?
We usually hear that people are surprised that, wow, you don't really need a subwoofer because it plays so well. The bass is so good. It goes so low that you don't need that. But it's up to the taste. And people, I'm sorry, I have some notifications on. So it depends on the taste. We've had customers who add subwoofers, and it depends on also like whether it's listening to music or movies. If it's a movie theater, why not? Have some powerful effects in addition, or even for sound systems. I mean, it's up to the preference. But in our philosophy, if you look at the X series and flagship series, we do not offer subwoofer because in our philosophy, this is how it should be.
Okay. All right. So I guess with my next question there is, in the building of these speakers, we see the beautiful externals, but then the internals I think are equally as important for a lot of people. One of the things that I think a lot of audiophiles have started to become very conscious of is crossover design. So what's Estelon's philosophy when it comes to crossover design?
It's like in all engineering, it's minimalism. We try to have results with minimum efforts, or how it's can explain. If you see for the sportsman, for example, if technique it's nice, it's very effective. Not many movings around this activity. At the same, we try to not destroy sound with additional steps like components or orders, crossover or some another elements. And usually it's a second order, but sometimes it's a little higher.
And I see that we saw a picture of the internals of one of the crossovers earlier. What I thought was really interesting is that it's all point to point. Is that true for all the Estelon models, that it's all point to point wiring when it comes to the crossover?
Yes, it's one part of our ideology to use direct, maximally direct contacts between elements, components, to make this sound way more straight to the drivers.
Got it. So the internal wiring on a lot of, or I think all the Estelon models is also Kubala Sosna cables internally. And
Yes.
Do you guys recommend using those typically with the Estelons, or can we use other cabling when it comes to the speakers?
Yeah, we use inside Kubala Sosna cables. Also, if you use speaker cable like connection with amplifiers, it's also good. But it's depending of the electronic set. It's possible to use another cables. It's depending from all electronic set.
Okay. On the Extreme series, I know that the impedance is quite low at some points. I think it's the Forza Extreme that says that the minimum is somewhere in the 1 ohms, in the mid 1 ohms. Do you find that matching with tube amplifiers on the Extreme series is more challenging because of that, or is that something that you may recommend to your customers where you say, oh, we'd recommend a more solid state amplifier than going for something that's tube based.
Okay, this impedance of extreme and Forza goes a little over the 2 ohms, not 1. But it's 1 point, and of course to give this maximum performance, this dynamic for this big speaker, we recommend more solid state amplification. But it's possible to try to use good amplifiers also from tubes.
And are these designed specifically for music, or are you guys designed them planned on music and home theater? What's the thought process behind that?
Our main idea to create a good sound. And, this is a good sound we make with stereo. But many our customers use our speakers for home cinema also.
Perfect.
It's like option.
Yeah, so we do
We
have
have,
a center
yes.
channel, and so you can combine, let's say we've had systems where the front speakers are extremes, and then in the back you may have X diamonds or something else. So we've seen different combinations. It sums up as a very expensive system, of course, but I mean, if the customer wants the best, then there are systems from Estelon speakers.
And how do you guys plan for a Mark II speaker? What do you guys look to improve on each model?
Yeah, that was a process, because by the time we decided to introduce the Mark II, we were getting close to 10 years of existence, and some models were like getting close to 10 years. And just before that, we managed to introduce the Forzas to our flagship series, and many lessons learned in that project were taken to MK2 and all our other products, because we saw that with this time we've had like so many discoveries, so much know-how accumulated, that it was time to refresh all the existing models. So it's basically inside totally different speaker, even though when you look at it, they still look like Estelon design or iconic designs, but from inside they're different. If you look at tweeters, diamond tweeters, we changed that. We changed many drivers like altogether. So it was a big step.
What are the cabinets made out of? You guys
Yeah.
probably cannot say what it is exactly, but
Yeah.
you guys like just give a little.
Yeah, you know, this is a long story. It's because this idea was born approximately 5 years before
Estelon.
Estelon was born. Because I have this big experience with different materials, different technologies, how the speaker are built. But because I have these new ideas how I look this shape, how I look this body and surfaces, what support these drivers for working, how this energy move around drivers, around this shape. It's I will see that it's a very complicated surface what I need, and this made from some traditional flat materials. It's not possible, and can be. It's if you look to our speakers, of course, this is like first idea that molding, and for this molding process, we need some materials. We test many materials, and finally, many companies says no, we can't to do this. And I have contact with one good young engineer, and we work together, and finally we have this material and this technology. This is a marble-based composite material. This is a very strong with good internal dampening, and this material also permit to use this molding technology for mold this complicated
shapes. So basically the most important thing was to create the shape that we need. So we found the material, although it took us many years before people said yes, we can do it, because in the beginning there were some complications, we couldn't get it the way we wanted to, but then one day everything just seemed right, and so then we decided to start with that. And it's a very good decision, because it creates or it allows us to create the shape that we need, and the idea is to have no coloration. So the cabinet itself is like very dead, and it's, of course, it's very heavy, very stable, but it's very, very good. So it allows us to create like the most natural sound that we can get. So the cabinet itself doesn't like give you any additional coloration,
but help to play for drivers.
That's what we like.
How is it superior to say just a stone enclosure?
How is it better than a stone?
No, stone, it's not stable product. It's natural. In one place it can be strong, in another place can be not so. And also, how you imagine how many sculptors we need to to build a speaker like this.
So you're saying that your material is more linear, you're saying, than a
and also we can adjust parameters of this material.
So we have different thickness throughout the cabinet.
Thickness, and we have many experiments to create these parameters what we need.
So there are like some special ingredients to keep this together. But the question was very good. Like if you really compare it to stone, like let's say just marble, I mean, it's not linear like throughout the product. It's thinner somewhere and thicker somewhere. It's not ideal for
like wood. Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I will make one comment. Obviously the speakers sound wonderful, but for me, the most striking piece is, before you hear a speaker, you're going to see it. And in my home, I think of speakers not only as a tool to create great musical experiences, but really they're also visual centerpieces, right? They're focuses of the room. When you walk into the room, it's like you have a huge grand piano there. You have these speakers and you're like, oh, this is what I'm going to hear. And strangely, I think my favorite speaker design of all time is the XBs. I think those are absolutely beautiful, and I think that the statement those speakers make in someone's home is outstanding. Just a general comment there for everyone. Those are my favorites.
It's fitting that it's some marble composite, because it is like a marble sculpture. The speaker itself.
That's actually very true, and thank you for saying that. That's very nice to hear. But this has been our mission, that we want to create this like extraordinary experience through sound and design. So aesthetical experience, because when you enter the room, exactly, you get this like good feeling, and maybe you want to add that.
That's for me, like author of these pieces. For me, it's important one thing. It's a harmony. It's a harmony in different levels. It's like engineering. It's like sound and aesthetics also.
So it's all one thing. That's it's part of the interior. We don't want to hide it anywhere in the corners. It's part of the interior. It's like a sculpture. And we've even had customers writing to us saying that, thank you very much for this product. Even if it's not playing, it's like part of my art collection. So people really think of our products as sculptures in their room, which is very nice to hear.
And we have many emotions through the music. It's emotions and this shape with finishing colors. It's very important, I think.
Well, I can only say that through all your efforts of design and engineering, you've been extremely successful, and now I think it's just the matter of degree. How close can you get to perfection, right? Because you're up there.
This perfection is good. We try to do this.
would you ever consider making a speaker not out of the marble composite? Could there possibly be, something that combines the marble with another material that maybe enters you into a new market, maybe something more budget oriented, something like that?
Actually, if you look at our auras, then they are already created from different material. So the white aura, as I mentioned, this material itself is already painted. So the idea was that it's faster to make them, to shorten the lead times, and they are very practical as well, because with painted cabinets you can still
Yes.
somehow scratch them, or if you have kids at home, or just small minor things happen, then you need to polish. Like, it's a bit like, yeah, of course they maybe look more interesting, but it's a bit harder to take care of them. So the idea was to make something very practical and durable. So we started with the white auras, and they are made of also composite material, or like mineral filled composite material that is thermoformed. So we don't use the molding process. It's a little bit different process, but that was needed to be able to make them quicker, because our standard products that we have, the X series products, our classics, it's very time consuming. Like from the start, when you create the cabinet, it's all handmade, then hand sanded, everything prepared for the painting. Then the painting process itself is very, very long, because all the layers have to dry in between, and then hand sanded, hand polished, everything. So it's time consuming.
Also, it was idea to create a shape more laconic for the
Simpler,
different,
yeah.
simple for the.
I would say not simpler, minimalistic. Yeah, more minimalist
yeah.
design. If
Laconic,
you look at auras,
more laconic design. For this, we was looking for this some another process for technology, and we found this possible to make with thermoformed materials.
I have a quick question. When it comes to drivers, how did you guys pick out the right ones for each speakers? Drivers.
Basically, first there is let's say a design concept and the requirement for the drivers, and then there starts the selection process. So we test different ones, we see what works, and then there is a cooperation with the manufacturers, because very often we would need, let's say, like this, but with different parameters. So it goes like back and forth, back and forth. So yeah, it's
Also, this, of course, this experience. If we built, I built also at many different models, and we can select a set of drivers, what combinations can play good. It's also make this R&D process shorter.
I had a question on the aura, please. What was you saying? By the way, good website, because you can change the colors and it makes the live stream very nice, and we can show everybody what the speakers look like. But so the aura has a plinth right on the bottom, and there's the bass driver is driving through the plinth. Why do you use a plinth on that speaker? I saw some of your other speakers don't have a plinth on it. What function does that serve?
Yeah, it's again, it's it has this idea to build a speaker for quite small rooms, and to be more universal for positioning in the room. And also this laconic and minimalistic design also gives us to move in this direction. And this is a speaker but use the floor support for produce the bass. You see this all bottom part, it's actually driver, one driver surface. And according this shape, this cabinet, it's quite small. It's a 10-inch driver and quite small cabinet. To reproduce good bass, we need support from the floor. And also because this crossover point, it's quite low, it's around 80 hertz. It's mostly like a subwoofer. It's it's why we use this positioning for this is a sealed box with floor-oriented woofers. In the room, it gives more possibility to move a speaker more close to the wall, front or side walls. It's make minimum like influence or changing for the sound.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to add a comment that we say that it's designed for smaller rooms, but the funny thing is that it's not for smaller rooms. It plays very well in bigger spaces as well. It's just that you can also have it in a smaller space because the bass and its position, it doesn't become boomy. It just plays very nicely in a smaller room as well, but it also plays well in a bigger
Yeah,
room.
when I heard the speaker in Greg's apartment, which is very, very large, it was
Exactly.
not a problem getting high, SPL levels.
Yeah, this is enough good to play in some bigger rooms, and this idea also was to create speaker with good dynamic. Also, we can use sometime in very high level of sound with this speaker. It's we built this for this limitation for the room, but actually it's possible really to use in some bigger rooms also.
Mm-hmm. So I know Alfred has had, many years of experience with building speakers. We heard earlier that, Estelon's not his first venture when it comes to the world of, professional hi-fi making. With forming your own company and setting out with Estelon, is there any like really big lesson that you've learned in having your own company, building Estelon over the years? What's like one big revelation that each of you have had?
You mean during Estelon years?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
For both of you, yeah.
Well, I think like what we've learned is that sort of like everything is possible, because always when we have our like project ideas and everything, we're like we're not really scared of trying. So I really like that approach. This is like universal in the entire company. Everyone is like, yeah, we can try, we will do that. So no one is scared. And like for me, one very interesting moment is that it's very easy to work as a family. So often people think that it's, not good to have a company with your family where you will have fights or something. We've had 0 fights with my dad during our, business relationship. We may have different opinions, but we always get together and we discuss, look at the facts, then we analyze, and then we just like say like, okay, your idea has a point, or your idea is better, we'll go with this one. So it's never like, it has to be my idea. No, the best idea needs to win. So I've learned that actually my husband is a general manager of Estelon. So we work daily together. We raise a kid at home together. I mean, I enjoy working together as a family. So I think that this has been like one big surprise to me. I think like I never thought about having, like family business like this, but it's wonderful. And I think like these 2 things are like, but like what I found like very interesting in doing Estelon.
Yeah, for me it's like sport. It's interesting. It's that we make every day work like training, but sometime we make some new results more higher or at new levels, and this bring for me so many positive energy that why I like this job during 40 years. I'm happy with
Awesome.
it.
Awesome. Well, we're reaching the end of our time, believe it or not. So we're going to start to bring things to a close. Thank you so much, Alyssa and Alfred, for joining us. If anyone's joining late, we're here with CEO of Estelon, Alyssa. I guess it's the opposite because I'm mirrored. Alyssa, and then on the other side, we have Chief Designer Alfred. And can you tell the people where they can find out more about Estelon, where they can buy Estelon's products, where they can see Estelon products?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we are in around 30 countries, and actually in US we have many good dealers. So if you look at our webpage, we have all the dealers listed there, and the next big place where people can hear Estelon in US is of course Exponus show to hear our flagship speakers.
Yeah, I come to this
Yeah, and
exhibition also.
yes, Alfred will be present at the Exponus. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to catch him at the show and ask them. He'll be happy to explain our design philosophy and how he builds, how he creates these models.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm looking really forward to this show. You know, a big fan of Estelon always at shows. Big fan of Estelon in general. So really looking forward to that show. Looking forward to what's next. Seeing that color in person is going to be great. I'm hoping to get some good footage and photos of that. Very excited. And, you know, like we first heard here, something big from Estelon's coming in Munich. So everyone stay tuned for that. Really excited to see what's next for Estelon. And again, thank you so much for joining HiFi Mafia this Thursday night, all the way from Estonia. And
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
inviting us.
All right, take care, everyone.
Take
Yep.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
thanks everyone for joining.
Take it easy, guys.